Hey, welcome to Chad's Beer Reviews. Haven't worn this shirt in a long time. Probably haven't washed it in a long time either. It just sits in the closet. I only wear this like once or twice a year. Anyway, as you can see by the title, whichever side it's on, drinking one of my, well, I should say what was at one point my all-time favorite beer. I'm not sure if it would even make the top 10 anymore, but we'll see. 2022 vintage Founders KBS. They really changed the label this year. This was bottled on February 28th of this year. So it's just about 6 months old, a little less. 12% ABV. Pretty beefy beer. Believe it or not, this beer is actually not in my book, the Handbook of Porters and Stouts. When we wrote this back in 2014, or I should say like when we compiled it, because most of the reviews that are in this book were written anywhere from like 2008 to the summer of 2014. They came out, I think, like around Thanksgiving of that year, if I can remember correctly. Anyway, I don't know what happened, or because I was pushing my editor to put that in there, and it never got in there. So maybe if we ever do a second edition. Although, getting back to what I was saying, I think it was Chad's Beer Reviews number 500. I was wearing a suit. I was probably about 50 pounds heavier back then. I think I got it in a trade with Dan, the Endosymbiosis. He had that huge beard. He was in Michigan. I assume he still is. I haven't talked to him in years. And I just remember the first time I had that beer, absolutely loving it. And I would still like try to get a trade every year until they started selling it in Albany. And it would always go on sale on April 1st. And I would actually have to take a sick day off work to go to the beer store, because they would only sell you like maybe one bottle or maybe one 4-pack for a while. And now we've reached a point where I can just go to Total Wine, although I am in Florida, not in upstate New York anymore. I'm not sure how the distribution's like up there, but I assume this is fairly readily available. Actually, let me know in the comments if this is easy to come by or hard to come by where you live, and let me know where you live, because like, if you're new here, I'm originally from upstate New York, Albany, and now I live outside of Orlando, Florida, and I've been here since 2015. Anyway, let's dive into the beer. So we got a nice, super deep chestnut brown, almost an inky black, not quite Marshall Zukov, but pretty close. And as always, the foam. If you saw the thumbnail, you know the foam came up to the rim. And Leo wants to be in the video. Let's give it a whiff. This is what separates like a real classic craft beer style from like these fly-by-night pastry stout styles. Like, okay, yes, this is an imperial stout brewed with coffee and chocolate and then aged in bourbon barrels. And actually, it's funny, they don't even mention that on the label anymore. It just says imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels. Because the thing about KBS was that it was like breakfast stout, which is a 7 or 8% ABV stout that's brewed with coffee and chocolate. And then this is, I don't know if it's the exact same beer or a beefier recipe. The beer that taught us that patience truly is a virtue. This big, bold imperial stout is brewed with premium chocolate and coffee, then aged in bourbon barrels that introduce powerful notes of vanilla, cocoa, and charred oak. KBS is a luxuriant, full-bodied drinking experience that emanates sophistication while honoring our craft beer roots. Yeah, so I'm surprised they like I said, they don't mention like on the front of the label that it has chocolate and coffee in it. I guess it's just now it's to the point, like they don't even say what KBS stands for, which if you've been around for a while, you know it stands for Kentucky Breakfast Stout. Kentucky meaning the bourbon character. Anyway, yeah, so huge bourbon character on this one, huge vanilla. Woody, I will say, I definitely get chocolate. It does have like a candy kind of aroma to it, or like a almost like a German what's it called? German Black Forest cake or whatever it's called. Yeah, I mean bourbon, vanilla, woody. I mean just the base stout. I will say like it doesn't like reek of like bad alcohol or anything. In fact, I don't even really. I get like definitely like a dark cherry type of aroma, or like just like a super concentrated dark fruity character. Coffee, yes. Almost like an iced coffee or a cold brew coffee, something like that. So I will say, it does smell great. We're over 5 minutes in, so let's get in here. Cheers. Well, I think I want to say KBS is back. This definitely tastes like how I remember. So I always get this every year, at least one bottle. Sometimes I'll get a full 4-pack or more, depending on how good it is. But I just like the point I was trying to get to at the beginning of the show is that those early years back in 2010, 11, just amazing, mind blowing beer, and then for a while there, it was like only okay. It was like very fusel, like very, boozy. I will say like this definitely it tastes stronger than it's like it smells very clean as far as the alcohol and stuff like that. But when you drink it, yeah, you can feel that and taste that alcohol. So yeah, a lot going on here. Not to sound like a broken record, but I mean, it tastes like how I described the aroma. It's hard to point out what would be the biggest flavor. I actually, honestly, and surprisingly, I would say it's actually pretty chocolate forward this year. Usually the chocolate's very subtle to the point where I can't even tell. And also, I mean, you tend to get a vanilla character from the bourbon barrel, and chocolate and vanilla are very similar flavors. But this has like a milk chocolate, so like a candy bar type of flavor to it. And also, the coffee is pretty prominent as well. I know a lot of people will cellar these. The only problem when you do that is that coffee tends to fade real quick unless you, well, maybe even if you threw this in a fridge, like as soon as it showed up at the beer store. Yeah, coffee tends to fade, but and chocolate tends to fade too. But the natural chocolate and the fruitiness from the malt, that'll stick around. But like any additives tend to fade over time. Yeah, nice woody character on this. I can just straight up taste bourbon on it, which is great. Um, I think it's beers like this. Like I'm not really that much of a whiskey drinker. Um, and there's different, various types of whiskey. Like bourbon technically is whiskey, and there's also like Tennessee whiskey. Like that's like Jack Daniel's. Um, and Canadian whiskey, Irish whiskey, even like Japanese make their own type of whiskey. But the bourbon style out of which is originated in Kentucky, and it's actually in Bourbon County. That's where Goose Island gets the name. Um, Bourbon definitely is my favorite of the whiskey styles. I will say the hops are hanging around here too. I mean, it's only a 6 months old bottle. Like if this was like an IPA, and I thought it was 6 months old, I'd be like, I don't want it. Or a lager or like a light wheat beer, but 12% ABV. 6 months is actually pretty young. Let me pour the rest out here so you guys can see the true color. Not sure how. Yeah, it looks brown on camera. It's got like that super deep ruby red, chestnut brown. I still don't think it's the darkest beer I've ever seen. I think Cigar City Marshall Zukov is probably the darkest. Maybe Goose Island Bourbon County. One of those two. By the way, I forgot to mention that I let this bottle sit out for at least a half hour for it to like really warm up, and so you like get like every flavor combination on here. I had considered taking I'll get right back. For the last like year or so, I've been taking these 5 milligram THC gummies from 𝓑𝓻𝓻𝓮𝓀𝓷.com. By the way, these are 100% totally legal. You do not need a medical marijuana thing or anything like that. It's because it's in guidance with the 2018 Farm Bill. So, like, we have medical marijuana in Florida, and I don't like to smoke or even vape. I would just much rather just take a gummy. This lasts, it can last like all day. And it's only 5 milligrams. And actually, that's funny, they sent me, oh, I should have got that too. Yeah, let's get everything over here. So, this is just regular CBD. I'll take these every once in a while, like de-stressify. No THC in that. And I have these nighttime ones. It's only like, what is it, 1 or 2 milligrams of THC. Take this like an hour before bed. Helps me sleep really well. Which is, I think, one of the reasons I'm in great shape now, is I'm actually getting great recovery. They sent me this free sample of these 15 milligram gummies. So I think, like, if I woke up and took this, like as soon as I woke up, I would probably still feel it when I went to bed that night. In fact, I might even do that maybe Wednesday, because tomorrow I have one. I technically have to work tomorrow, but I guess I could take a day off. But anyway, I am rambling. Let's get back to the beer here. And by the way, the point of me showing you all this is that I was going to take one of these because the THC enhances all your senses. So food tastes better, everything smells better, like you just have a stronger sense of taste, stronger sense of smell. Music sounds better. You know, all the cliches, you know, like movies and TV shows are funnier. It just has like this great buzz. It's kind of like drinking, like if I had drank like 2 or 3 of these, but without the heavy feeling of being drunk. It's like you're still cognizant. You're not like sleepy. Although I would not recommend taking one of these and driving, you know, and I don't do that. I only take it at home. Anyway, let's wrap up this review. Now that the beer is really warmed up, it's like noticeably boozy. I don't think I like this. I don't like this as much as like CBS with the maple syrup barrel. But I will say this is one of the better vintages that I can recall. Because I just remember, I have to go through my Untapped history, which maybe I should have done before I started filming, but I, you know, just the last probably 5-6 years, I've found KBS be, you know, good, not great, like giving like a 4, maybe anywhere from like 3.5 to 4. Like it was just too boozy, too like harsh or astringent or something. Maybe they got a new brewer or they just tried something different this year. But to me, this is drinking like the KBS of yore, you know, of like I said, like of 2010 or whatever year that was. It's also, I mean, considering I've had so many other beers like this lately, or well, not lately, but in the last, you know, 14 years since I've been doing Chad's beer reviews. But let's finish this up and I'll get you guys out of here. By the way, did you notice I got more? I got a bunch of beer books. I got these off somebody on Facebook Marketplace. All these books right here. These here. There's some homebrewing books, and then these are all my books up here. I got these off somebody on Facebook for like $15. That was great. In fact, I want to get some more. So I keep looking around. Anyway, going almost 15 minutes here, and I am just rambling. I will say the body on this is not super thick and sticky as I was expecting, as it usually is. I mean, I'd probably say, yeah, full-bodied, very smooth, very like a smooth texture, comfortable in the mouth. warming sensation from the alcohol. Carbonation is, I'd probably put about medium. I would not say it's a low. Medium low. But I mean, it's actually surprisingly, effervescent for such a strong beer. I take that back. I'd probably call this medium low to straight up low carbonation. But yeah, full body, full mouthfeel. As far as rating for KBS, I'm gonna go pretty high on this one. I think it's a 4.5, maybe 4.75. I could not give it a perfect 5.0. I think it's a little boozy, but and maybe it's also because I've had it so many times. Just you can never recreate that first time experience. I mean, it's like, think about like whatever your favorite movie is. Like the first time you saw it, like it just blew you away, and like now you can watch it whenever you want, and it's still fun. It's just not the same thing. So yeah. All right. So 2022 Founders KBS. I think this is definitely one of the better vintages in quite a few years. And next time I'm at Total Wine, I think they had the 4-pack of this for, I think it was like $18.99. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a little less than $5 a bottle. I only bought one bottle, so I think it was like $6.99, which is not bad either. Because I remember back in 2010 when we first got, or 2012, 13, whenever we first started getting it in Albany, like one bottle was $9.99, and you couldn't even get a 4-pack. So this is like the longest episode of Jazz Beer Reviews ever. Sorry, I'm just rambling, and I'm not even high. I didn't even look. This is a sealed bag. I haven't even opened this yet, but I probably will take one tomorrow. All right, if you watch all the way to the end, you are awesome. By the way, I did see the person who was commenting. I just, I'm on a tear and I couldn't stop to read, so I'll see it on the replay. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.